Do you like what the Raiders are doing?
Well, you can like it from on paper because if you acquire 3 first-round picks over the next 2 years, along with the 3rd-round pick and the 6th-round pick, I can't sneeze at that. Obviously, like Dan Graciano pointed out, you know, you're building for Vegas. We get all of that. The question is, did you hire the right man for the job? And I take no pleasure in throwing that question out, but it needs to be said. When you give a man $100 million and you're going to sit up there, I mean, a man that hasn't coached in 10 years, in the previous 6 years that he coached, he didn't win one single playoff game. He was 0-2 in those 6 seasons. Last time he did anything of football relevance on the football field, that is, because he certainly was an exceptional commentator and announcer for us right here on ESPN on Monday Night Football. But as a football coach, he hadn't done anything since 2003, and there was questions as to what he really did because he inherited Tony Dungy's team. You give him $100 million, but you can't find any money for Khalil Mack. You're talking about compromising your culture. And I think that's what you have to pay attention to. People could speak to that, and they could dismiss that summarily, but it matters. I know that the people that I speak to in the National Football League are telling me there's some friction that goes on that's going on in Oakland since he's arrived. There's people that's looking to leave. There's people that's not excited about being there. I don't think
Gruden minds that.
And I think he minds it because
the team in his image.
He's remaking the team in his image. But what exactly is Gruden's image? He was an offensive guru. Derek Carr can't seem to work right now, and he was raving about him just weeks ago. Prior to that, he was supposed to be some quarterback guru. Well, who did you do something for? Brad Johnson? Who was it? So the fact of the matter is that there are question marks about the guru status.
Right. And so
that's what I'm saying.
Let me tell you what just happened. First of all, the jokes on social media yesterday were actually funny. It's like they got 3 first-round picks now. They have enough draft capital to go out and get a pass rusher like Khalil Mack. Right? But look, here's what Gruden is really doing. And we'll only know if this works or not based on the success that he has drafting players. But they're going to be his players. Is very much going to be Gruden's team. First year's a wash, right? It's a wash. No one's going to hold him accountable for this year because he's remaking the team. Next year, you're going to have rookie picks. The following year will be the last on Derek Carr's guaranteed money, like where you're really going to have dead cap hits and stuff like that, so you can get rid of Derek Carr after that, and clearly he's not a very good quarterback. Okay. Then you draft a rookie quarterback. You're in year 4. Now it's a rookie quarterback. You're not going to get judged on the rookie quarterback. You got another year. Now, are you seeing improvement? What Jon Gruden has done is not only given himself a ton of draft capital to remake the team, he's given himself a 5 to 6 year runway before he's realistically on the hot seat. Boy, that's quite a trick.
Yeah, that's a cute way to look at it. He had a 10-year contract anyway, Max. He's not giving himself anything he didn't already have. If you didn't think there was heat on him, there's heat on him in 3 weeks. I mean, the guy sitting across the table from you has been on his case since this thing started. Look, I have been there saying, hold on Jon Gruden, hold on. There's a lot of armchair analysis really quickly about Jon Gruden, a lot of short-term thinking. The fact of the matter is, you have to be fairly impressed with what he's turned a bad situation into in a short amount of time. Everybody goes, oh, how could you lose Khalil Mack? Because the Raiders couldn't afford him. He did the best he could in a bad situation. And now he turns, according to you, Max, Amari Cooper into a massive overpay.
Yep.
I think this Gruden situation, this Raiders situation, was always a longer-term project than anybody truly appreciated. They weren't the 12-4 team from 2 years ago. And now he's built up a massive war chest. By the way, I don't think he's done. I don't think that horizon, that time frame you gave us, Max, is the true one. I think he's going to get more assets, get rid of more players. And I think what he's done is going to put the Raiders in a situation where they can be really viable 3 to 4 years from now.
Here's my issue with what you're saying, Will Cain. I have no problem with what Jon Gruden is doing as an executive. But you're ultimately the one that's got to coach the guys, too. And that's where it becomes problematic. So is it possible that we can look at Jon Gruden while having profound respect for what he's doing in concert with Reggie McKenzie to sort of reshape and reformulate this team as an executive, basically, but then when you got to really implement this culture and coach this team, you might not be the guy for that job. I'm not saying that that's the case yet. I'm saying we don't know. He raved about Derek Carr. He said, this is my guy. Everything about this franchise is this guy. And what have we all been saying? We've seen enough question marks from it to the point where a guy that was an all-pro and an MVP candidate just 2 years ago, we are now looking at Derek Carr and wondering whether or not he's next on the trading block. And this is just weeks after Jon Gruden has been raving about him. So So think about that for a second
that's
here, and ask
stuff.
yourself, when do we ask something about Jon Gruden?
The culture and the coaching point will be seen, and I hear you on that. But that's not what the blue check brigade on Twitter is coming after Jon Gruden about. They're going after it about the executive decisions. They're talking about
but Will, you're talking
trade.
to my point. You're right. Jon Gruden cannot be fairly evaluated for at least 3 to 4 years. And trust me, when they get rid of Derek Carr, which they will, they can't do it now because he has zero trade value given his contract and the way he's been playing. Not zero, but not a lot right now. When they get rid of Derek Carr, it's going to be restarting with a rookie quarterback, gives you at least 2 years. No one, so Stephen A., you may hold him accountable earlier. Most will not hold Gruden accountable for, I say, 5 to 6 years.
No way in hell. I promise you, Jon Gruden would quit first. He's got a buyout clause in his contract. He'll get most of his money. If they stink like this for 3 or 4 years, he will not stick around.
Out of time, guys.